Hi there, Serial Trader here. Let's check in with the major U.S. indices, as there has been some action since the last video. So we've been in a pullback here, and in the last video I mentioned and pointed out reasons as to why we should be looking for a more significant top to form on the larger time frames. But at the same time, I'm emphasizing that from a trading perspective, you just got to take it, on a short-term basis, one structure at a time, one pattern at a time. And at the moment, this pullback we're having here does not look menacing at all as far as large downside potential. So far, we just have a simple three-wave decline from the top, ABC down. Right here, I have the equality relationship between A and C projected off of B labeled, and we almost hit that perfectly. So that's nice to see on a corrected pullback. That would have been 29.0287. We went as low as 29.0328. So I'm liking the idea that we have a nice pivot here, and we've had a good reaction off of that initially, and now we're retracing some of that reaction. But this looks like it could be a nice tradable pivot at just under 2900, or sorry, just around 2900. Okay. That being said, if that's correctly identified, then we should be working our way up in some sort of smaller degree fifth wave. I put these other degree fifth waves to the side because we just don't know. I mean, this structure could just keep subdividing, and we could still have a lot more upside to go before we actually peak in any kind of a major fifth wave, despite, again, on the daily, as I pointed out last time, looking quite mature out of our wave 4 triangle. And we can certainly now count this as nearing completion, but that doesn't mean that that's the case. It just means that it can be counted as complete. I mean, the only way to really start embracing that we have a significant top in place is to have a large decline that takes up multiple supports on the way down, forms in a nice clear 5 waves, and then we have a 3-wave bounce that fails to make a new high, a very corrected looking 3-wave bounce. That'll be the real opportunity if you get that to set up for some sort of bearish side trade. But right now, we just don't have that. In fact, we have nothing but higher highs and higher lows. A very typical uptrend right now. So despite looking mature, we have to still give the upside the benefit of the doubt. And especially on a short-term trading basis, when you just see a very familiar corrective 3-wave zigzag, that's just another trading opportunity. Like all the other 3-wave corrective patterns we've had as we've gone along, they've just led to the next impulse wave up. So this likely won't be any different. All right, so that being said, I've illustrated kind of the short-term expectations as far as how the wave is unfolding. Now we'll go to the SPX candlestick chart, and you can see we've had a bit of a drawdown here, although nothing menacing looking. Didn't even quite come down to touch that 20-day simple moving average, which we've been finding good support on as these pullbacks have progressed along the way. We did have a gap down from this candle on the daily, but we filled that with yesterday's candle, although gave it all back. And then today, another seemingly strong day, and then as the day progressed towards the end of the day, gave quite a bit of it back, but still just closing roughly on the T-line, slightly above it. So certainly nothing menacing. No actual sell signals, no bearish engulfings or anything like that. And no closes below the T-line as of today. We did close below the T-line yesterday, but absolutely no follow-through. So still favoring the upside here once we can get some momentum going again. And that may have started today, as I showed on that wave chart. Or we may still have to go down a little deeper, maybe nick the 20-day simple moving average, although I would prefer it if that ABC down, proved to be the pivot. But we'll see. So let's go to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And okay, how's the Dow looking here? So the Dow, 3 good days of decline there from the peak. Had a nice little doji start at the top in the overbought condition, well above the 3 T-line and the T-line. So got a little too far ahead of itself short term. Definitely needed to cool off a bit, and it has now. And now we're basically just sitting on the T-line, much like the S&P. So this just looks like a healthy pullback within a larger uptrend to me. So I would expect the Dow Jones Industrial Average to resume its uptrend. Okay, go to the NASDAQ Composite. And looking at the NASDAQ Composite, had been showing a little relative weakness, although it seems to be perking up here a bit. From the high, we had a decent pullback. Didn't even quite hit the 50-day simple moving average, though, which we have been hitting pretty reliably in former pullbacks here. But now we're back up above the T-line, and the 3 T-lines cross above the T-line. So I'll tentatively expect this uptrend to continue on the NASDAQ. It does look a little choppy here, although it is still holding support and just still making, on this little pattern here, higher highs and higher lows. Obviously, we have to make a true higher high above the all-time high to really embrace that the uptrend has resumed. But tentatively, it looks like we've just had a little accumulation phase here, and now we're potentially getting ready to go up again. So NASDAQ, I mean, if the other 2 indices are going to resume their uptrends, I would expect the NASDAQ to do so as well. All right, so the VIX, let's see here. VIX is really showing nothing concerning, even with some weakness. Yesterday, the VIX only went as high as 13 and change. So the VIX still very much in a trendless condition. And as long as the VIX remains sideways to down, that certainly bodes well for equities to remain in an uptrend. So until the VIX could actually, break any of these little resistance levels, there's really nothing as far as alarm bells ringing for the indices. So as far as the VIX indicator goes, as far as it being an indicator for the equities, still in a bullish state, being that it is trendless. All right, so let's have, I think I'm going to do a quick look at this. Just going to show the ES futures chart. So I am swinging a futures position overnight. I got in the, around 29.10 or 29.12, if memory serves me right. I like that pivot. So on the futures, we also have a near equality relationship between this wave down and this wave up. So very much a similar ABC down to what we have in SPX, although the levels are slightly different, being that it's the futures. Same pattern, essentially. My stop is just below the low here, which is at 29.0750. I believe my stop is at 29.0725. And again, I got in only a few points above that. So far, those contracts are in a good position. I may move that stop up if we can start accelerating here to this most recent pivot, which was at 29.17. So I'd go just below that, 29.1675 once I do that. And that was actually, so this initial move up off the bottom, I did a 618 retracement, so we hit that almost perfectly. 29.17 is how low we went. The actual 618 retracement was 29.1675. So within a quarter point on the futures of a perfect 618 retracement off the initial move up off the bottom. So I'm liking that. All right, well, just thought I'd give you an update, and that should be good for now. Serial Trader signing off.